Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody's staying safe. So I thought we would share the live that we do on in the Patreon group every month with the whole channel today. And you guys asked your questions there. And hello, Danny. Hello, everybody. And I read the questions on this in these lives, and I answer the questions. So that's what we're doing today. And I thought, let's share it with everybody. I'm not sure what everyone's doing. I know this is what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So the first question I am going to read here, and I always write the time in here that I answer the questions. So so it may take a minute. Right. So the first question is Ryan's question. So, hi, Amanda. I'm happy to say that I've made amazing progress. Amazing. I believe actually I recognize your name as well from, I think, maybe doing coaching actually with my coaches, which my coaches are amazing. They really are. Because everyone's me pushed out and I intend that they are, so they totally are. Right? So my specific person reached out to me. Oh, that's amazing. Yes. And apologized. Woohoo! You did it. She told me how amazing I am and how she believes my love is the purest love. Those are some amazing intentions you made there. She wanted to meet in person, and we did, but we also had a heart-to-heart conversation. She told me she is just confused in her life right now and doesn't know what she wants. Okay, so still getting over someone even though she wants to forget about him. Okay, so right now, let's go with I intend for her to be over her baggage and ready to get into a relationship with me because I'm good enough. Like, that's got to be your main intention every time you think about her because you've created her to have baggage and that she's not over the past relationship, right? So that's not uncommon. Okay, so definitely create that she is ready for a relationship, that she's over it. So she gave me the option if I want to move on or wait for her. Okay, well, I mean, the most waiting you're going to have to do is start creating the intention that she's ready for a relationship. Okay. So what you would do is when it comes to her, you would just say, look, it's good. No problem. It's all good. You know what? I get it. Like, I like our relationship the way it is. I'll wait for you. That's no problem. And then start creating the intention that she's already ready. Okay. And act like nothing's wrong because nothing is wrong. Right. Because, with the intention and the assumption that you guys are going to be together, then all you need to do is to recreate your story that she's ready because you created her not to be ready ultimately because she is you pushed out, right? So, but at the same time, she told her mom about me, and her mom believes that I'm the one. Of course, you're the one. I made intentions around that. I know you did. You made it. Everything you've created here, you've actually created. So we're just friends right now on Facebook. So we're not in a relationship right now. Okay, so start intending and declaring the reality by assuming, saying, okay, you know what? We are friends with this leading into a relationship. Okay, and yeah, totally. So she isn't messaging me at all, and it's painful because I love her. Okay. So what we're making the lack of messaging mean something. Okay. So if it's painful, I'm going to say we're maybe making it mean rejection and that she's not ready. Again, you've got to shift your thoughts on to she is ready. This is happening. And she messages me all the time. Okay. I don't want to make it mean rejection, but it's hard because I see that she's active on Messenger, but she isn't talking to me. Okay. So you've got to shift that. And you've got to shift that with your thoughts. Okay. So do more of, everyone as you pushed out manifestations in your reality with people that you may not have, like that you don't have resistance with. Okay. So just everywhere intend, friends say things, people do things, just start intending, that the specific person likes something, like really start to see how you create and how everyone's a reflection of you, and even intend that you do actually see how everyone is you pushed out. So when I would send her a message, she would reply but wouldn't keep the conversation going. Part of me thinks that she just wants to meet to apologize and stay friends. Okay, you got to stop thinking that. Start creating and changing that. This is the mental diet. Okay, so you've got to be on the mental diet and you've got to stop these thoughts because she's going to think what you want her to think. Okay, but the other part of me believes that she wants to definitely practice everyone as you pushed out on other people. Okay. I've manifested small things before, including the fact that she reached out to me and told me I was in her dreams. See, I mean, keep creating things like that and also create them with other people. Okay. I'm just going to go back and forth between feeling good and calm and fearful and anxious. Well, you've got to get on top of your thoughts when you're starting to feel fearful and anxious. Okay. Because every morning I wake up and I'm afraid of the worst case scenario, then you've got to get on top of your thoughts in the morning and you've got to start talking yourself out of it. Okay. Everybody out there, you know what it is. I mean, every day is a matter of reminding yourself that you are the creator of your reality and you create what you want in your reality. And you know what? We're creatures of habit. And yeah, we may have these negative thought processes that show up in the morning or they show up when something happens, or, you know, we may have been disappointed one or two times. Then we're just in the habit of sort of getting our hopes up. Well, you know, it's in those moments that, you know, you've got to break that habit. And how you break that habit is you start to forge new thoughts, you know, with your conscious mind up here, and you really push through and you say, no, today's going to be different. I'm going to change this. I deserve, I'm good enough. So the other thing, Ryan, is you've got to take this off a pedestal. Everybody out there, whatever you want to create, take it off a pedestal. Actually, that's tomorrow's video is about self-love, and it helps to take things off of a pedestal. So I'm good enough to get the girl that I want. I'm good enough to have the job that I want. I'm good enough to have everything I absolutely want. Each of you guys. So guys, again, I'm reading the questions off of the Patreon group. Yeah, it's fun. And, you know, people on there, they're great. The Patreon group's an amazing group of people. So 7:15 is this one. So 7:15. So 7:15, here's the question. What's the question here? So, sorry for the long message, but I've given a list of what's happening. Okay. So they broke up almost 6 months ago. And yes, you can still manifest him back. He said he doesn't want to get back together. And he's also said that he's done with me. I would intend that he's not. Right? Please. So I know he said that, but those are your thoughts reflecting back. So what you want to do is he is ready to get back together. You know, I would chalk it up to he just said it because he was upset. You know, people say things they don't mean, then, you know, and go from it there. Go from there. I'll never be a special person again. He's not happy. He wants to have peace of mind. He'll never take me back again because we've had way too many fights towards the end of our relationship, and he doesn't find me attractive anymore, and we're not compatible. Okay. So really what needs to happen is you've got to intend that, you know what, he forgives you and he wants to work on it and he loves you unconditionally. Okay. He said he doesn't want to move on and he doesn't like me or my personality. He said he can never be okay with my past. Example, he's not okay with the fact that I've dated other guys before him. Really? And he needs someone who his parents and friends approve of. Okay, so, you know, start intending that he is okay, you know, that you've dated other guys before him. I mean, you know, we've all dated other people before him. So really what needs to change here is what you and change these things that he doesn't like to what he does like about you. Okay. And also create that his parents approve of you. Okay. This is the exact feedback I got from him about the breakup. But 2 weeks after the breakup, he randomly texted me and sent a very long apology message about he's the one at fault and extremely sorry for hurting me. But that he still doesn't want to get back together because of the same reason that I mentioned above. Okay, I know it seems like a lot of problems, but please don't judge me because I've got a lot of insecurities which have taken a toll on my relationship. Never judge. No, judge-free zone. Never judge you. I've created messes, trust me. This is what we do here. We help people. Me and my coaches, we help you. We never judge. I mean, there's no point, right? So so I'm hoping all of this complicated situation is reversible. It absolutely is. Okay. Should I be saying the positive intentions for every feedback he's given me? Yes. If he is completely changed guy who is very forgiving and understanding, absolutely. He's gotten over his baggage, excellent, and completely let go of the past. Perfect. Yes. He is so sure that he wants to be with me and only me and truly loves me unconditionally, and nothing that I ever do is wrong to him. Perfect. And his family approves of you. If you do get upset, and he is quick to, you know, make up after fights and take responsibility for them as well. And actually, better yet, create the ever fight. Like you guys always get along every second of the day if you want to, right? And I've also been doing intentions to change my core beliefs about myself, self-love. I'm actually posting a video about that tomorrow. Men in relationships. Excellent. Love it. But I keep wondering if there's some other block I'm not aware of. But Will the above intentions be enough to shift and change and break down the old beliefs? Absolutely. Because I've mentioned my entire situation without leaving out any detail. So I keep wondering if there's any blocks. Well, start saying no. There's zero blocks and resistance. This is happening. Okay. Let's talk about what a block is. Okay. A block is any thought that's contrary to what you want. Now, your blocks aren't something that's hidden from you. There's two ways that you're going to see them. You're either going to think them. Okay. So if I think, oh, you know what? I want Gerry to call me. I don't know. Gerry's not that into me. He never calls me. Okay. That's a block. Okay. For Gerry calling me. Now, the other way that I'm going to see a block is I'm going to be like, oh, I intend for Gerry to call me. And the guy doesn't call me. The teddy bear doesn't call me for 2 months. Well, there's obviously a block. I've got some kind of thought that maybe he doesn't want to talk to me. So your blocks are either going to show up in your outer reality, your 3D reality, or you're going to think them. Okay. So stop questioning. Questioning, if you have a block, is a block. So stop questioning if you have a block. Okay. If you just keep declaring that they have no choice, because as soon as you declare something, then you're automatically going to notice and then take whatever is not matching to what you're actually wanting and change that from there. Okay. I know it'll take a while to break down every block, but it's not impossible. No, it's never impossible. Intend that it happens instantly. Or do I have some hidden blocks here? Again, without actually sitting down, you're saying is you want to stop questioning if you have a block. Okay. So just stop questioning it. Keep focusing on what you want. Okay. I keep telling myself that I manifest everything I want instantly and effortlessly. On top of all of this, ever since the breakup, I've been noticing his family and friends asking him to move on from me and starting to hate on me. And they've been saying our relationship was toxic. And this is something that I absolutely take full responsibility for, as I've been overthinking the block. Okay, so stop overthinking about this ever since the breakup. And I can see that my thoughts have caused my current reality, but I want to change this over. How do I set intentions for the family and friends to love and respect me again? Okay, so again, you take your whatever thoughts you have happened, but I've never had a thought about any third party situation. I always knew he wanted to be with me and only me, but now I'm getting to know about people that he's hitting on random women. I don't understand how all this happened, but I've not been reacting to any of this. Instead, I've got a very strong belief that he wants to be with me and he's only interested in me, treats and respects me, every other woman in his life like they're his sister, but the opposite is happening. I wonder why. Okay. So if the opposite of happening of your intentions, then something else is going on. We're not either doing a good mental diet or we've got some other thoughts that we're entertaining. If you're not sure what your thoughts are, you can actually check in with your feelings and your feelings will tell you. So if you're feeling worried and anxious, well, then we're not on a mental diet, because our thoughts create and our thoughts will also manifest our feelings. Okay. So I've learned a lot through your channel, and that every situation can be reversed and circumstances don't matter. I've accepted my current reality for what it is. I've built up a core belief that the distance has made him realize that I'm more important than any silly misunderstanding between us. And he truly loves me unconditionally, and he'll do anything to be with me again. And I'm the only one he loves and wants. Can I just dwell on my new assumptions? Yes. Dwell on your new assumptions. Always focus on what you want. Is it okay if I just stay on top of my thoughts and repeat those intentions? Yes. I'm not able to visualize instead of visualization. Nobody needs to visualize. The thing is, right, is your thoughts will already create visualization already. So yeah, so we want to basically focus on just keeping our thoughts in check. You can visualize if you want at the end of the day or whatever, but really, you have to be on top of your thoughts throughout the day. Okay. And basically too, right, just to explain a little bit further how you say that everything is the opposite of what your thoughts are in your reality, well, then that's impossible. And I'll tell you why, because your outer reality is a result of your inner talk. Okay. So now, well, I believe you're doing intentions, but the thing is, right, is we're obviously having more thoughts that are not intentions than intentions. For what's showing up is our dominant thoughts, and those are what we're predominantly thinking throughout the day. Okay. So we need to put more focus on what we want and focus more on what we want. Okay. So that'll shift your reality. Okay. So stop questioning if you have a block, because that's going to stop your, reality from showing up. Okay. So I'm very comfortable with I'm not able to visualize, even though, yeah, it's fine. You don't need to visualize. I'm very comfortable with a mental diet, but every LOA teacher keeps visualizing emphasizing visualization and how it's the essence of manifesting what I need to do in order to manifest. So, like I said, every thought creates a picture. So if I was to say, don't think of a blue duck, you just thought of a blue duck, you pictured it. So every word, every that you speak creates a picture in your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind only sees in pictures. So every thought that you have is a visualization. Okay, so you're constantly visualizing. You have no choice. You can't stop it. Okay, your subconscious mind only sees in pictures. Okay, so yeah, you're always visualizing. So as long as your thoughts are focused on what you want, you're automatically visualizing what you want, and then you're automatically creating what you want. That's the way it works. There's no way to change that whatsoever. Okay. So you don't need to actually sit down and visualize separately than your mental diet. You have to do a mental diet if you do visualize. If you visualize a sad scene or a scene, and then all day you're thinking negative about it, then you've just blocked that whole entire scene anyway. Okay. Because your thoughts up here are going to trump anything. Okay. So, well, you just said that. I just said that. If you, so you said, so yes, doing a mental diet will be enough. Okay. So, um, yeah. So I've just answered this. So yes, a mental diet's enough. And you're welcome. Oh, you're literally the only person I can feel like I can trust and have no doubts in whatever you're saying in your videos. And I automatically have this feeling that you're a genius. Oh, thank you, and everything you say is true. Thank you. I know this from experience. Okay, I've dug myself out of a lot of problems in my life. One thing is, it just kind of point out here. You said that I'm literally the only person you feel like you can trust. Start trusting your specific person. To trust that he loves you, wants to be with you. Okay. Um, and say, yeah, you can say, I intend to be a powerful manifester just like you. Okay. So you've got to start focusing on what, write a list every day and focus on what he wants. Okay. And get on top of the mental diet, and you're going to turn the situation around. Okay. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Okay, so next question at 19 minutes in. I know that was a long one, but she actually asked a lot of really good questions there that I think, and I know, and I intend that everybody's going to be able to benefit from. So, but as of right now, I live with my parents. So I'm not sure if I should say I intend for my SP to tell me he's ready to live together, or if I intend for my SP to tell me he's ready to have a baby. Please let me know if this is okay. Okay, Claudia, throw everything on there. Do all of those intentions. Like, seriously, what you want to do when you create intentions, and I am going to be doing a video about this in the future, is to put intentions on everything from every single angle. Okay, so you know what? You want to put in their intentions. What are you going to see here? Your SP going to say, what are they going to feel? Your parents, how do you feel about living on your own? So really hit it from every angle, like every single angle. Okay. So because if, let's say, for instance, you intend that they want to live with you, but then they're not ready for a baby. They're going to say, I want to live with you, but I'm not ready for a baby. Like, you've got to hit it from every single angle. What I suggest for everybody is take and dump out all of your thoughts. Okay. All of your thoughts about the situation, and take a look. What thoughts am I going to keep? What thoughts am I going to get rid of? Or beliefs, whatever you want to call them. And then go through. So maybe it's like, I'm scared to live, to move out. Okay, let's cross that out. I intend to be ready to move out. Okay, but all those intentions plus more, add some more in there. What does your SP feel about it? How do they feel about having a baby? How do your parents feel about you moving out? Where are you guys going to live? Like, really start to paint that picture. Live from the end of living with your specific person with a baby. So how that looks to live from the end is to say to yourself, if I was living with my specific person with a baby, what would my thoughts be? What would my life look like? Okay. And then start writing and, dwelling on all of that. Okay. So, would you be questioning and worrying if he was ready or they were ready to move out? No, you would say they are ready to move out. Okay. So start creating it from that angle. It's never just one intention. It is a whole bunch of intentions. Okay. So let's throw a bunch of intentions out there to, to cover it. Okay. Yay. So, definitely. So 20 minutes, 21 minutes in for the next question. 21 minutes. So this is Rachel's question. And let's take a look here. I don't know. So Rachel says, hi, Amanda. I've discovered that I was clinging to the story that I could manifest everything except the specific person, therefore putting it on a pedestal. Oh, okay, totally get it. Okay, I need a drink, guys. Uh, I have begun intending every day for some sort of contact that he's going to text or call me because he wants to be with me and spend time with me. Excellent. Also, create that you're good enough for it. That you always get what you want. That manifesting a specific person's easy, right? Take it off the pedestal. I realized I was telling myself a story that his job in law enforcement is all consuming and that he has very little time for me. I also want to I was also too hung up on what he was thinking. After I text him and I was overanalyzing and overthinking everything as to what his silence might be. Oh yeah, overanalyzing, overthinking, questioning, blocks, blocks, blocks. Okay, we don't want to do that. Okay, so well, given the whole COVID-19 situation, which is going to end very soon. Okay. His job as a police officer, I was worried about his safety and texted him yesterday asking how he was doing, and I didn't get a response. The progress is that I was able to completely forget about the text and go on with my day and tell myself that it's okay. He's not, and not think about the worst. Okay. So to continue persist in the assumption that he's crazy in love with me, is always thinking about me and can't wait to see me. I have very full days dealing with other things and my kids. So I actually feel pretty at peace during the day and maintaining my mental diet and getting better and better. But for some reason, pardon me, at night when I'm trying to relax, pardon me, and get ready for bed, my ego whispers in and its annoying voice, well, another day went by and I really need to stop. How do I get to the point of unwavering belief at all times so I don't even have these nighttime womp womp moments where I'm reminded clearly I still have that block? I've started saying to myself that I have zero resistance, nothing can mess up my manifestation, but I'm not sure if that technique is the way to go to release the resistance. To the resistance. Well, you're so welcome, Rachel. You know what? The biggest thing here is let's start um, whenever you do message him is to start creating evidence that your intentions are working. Okay, so you create whether or not he texts you back or not because he's you pushed out. So if you are going to reach out and text, then your job after you send that message is to continually say he's going to text me back, he's going to text me back, he's going to text me back and say this, and we're going to have this conversation, and really focus on him texting you back, and then he texts you back, and then you keep doing that and then you get evidence for it. Okay, so basically, right, our beliefs come from our thoughts and then our evidence of our thoughts manifesting. Okay, and that's how our beliefs are created. So if we want to recreate people, we have to start pushing it in the other direction. Okay, so like for instance, let's say you text Gerry and then he never texts you back for a week. After he does that a few times, you're like, your belief about Gerry becomes, oh well, Gerry doesn't text me back for like a week. Okay, he'll text me. That becomes your belief. And then to break that belief, every time you text him, you have to say, Gerry's going to message me back right away, right away, right away. And then maybe he does it the first time. Maybe he doesn't do it the second time. Maybe he does it the third time. Regardless, you have to keep your thoughts on. He does it all the time. And then as soon as Gerry does it every single time over and over again immediately, then all of a sudden that becomes a belief. And this whole him not messaging you for a week later becomes a distant memory. Okay. So the quicker you can forget the old behavior, then the quicker the new behavior becomes what the new norm is. Okay. So if you are going to go out there and you are going to, put yourself out there and text and say, hey, you know what your job is? He's going to text me back. He's going to text me back. Every time you think about it, he texts me back. Every time you look at your phone, he's going to text me back. He's going to text me back. Okay. If you don't put any different thought to it and you just say it's fine and you ignore it, and then guess what? Nothing's actually going to change. Okay. Because everything will stay the way that you left it the last time you looked. Okay. So you've got to put conscious thought to blow it over. Okay. To push it over. Okay. So like basically it'll look like this. Okay. So Gerry texts me. I text Gerry. He doesn't text me back. But then I'm like, no, Gerry's going to text me back because he loves talking to me. In fact, you know what? He's going to text me back right now. He's going to surprise me. He's going to ask me for dinner because I'm good enough. I deserve it. Oh, yeah. Of course he does. You know what? He's just as nervous about this as me. Of course. He thinks I'm amazing because I am. I intend to feel confident. I intend to feel good about this. And then, you distract yourself, play your video games, and all of a sudden you're like, Gerry, oh yeah, Jerry's going to text me. I intend for him to text me right back. Put thought to it, make that shift, make that change. Unless you put your thoughts there, nothing changes. Imagine like your thoughts, okay? every intention that you have, like basically animates the other person because it does. Okay. So a lot more laser focus on what you want to do. I know somebody in the past, one of my clients, actually, to get unblocked, she actually sat there and like visualized and intended that he took his finger and he like on it in the phone and went unblocked, and then he actually did it. So you're animating the other person. Okay, so you can either animate them with the visualization or you can animate them with your intentions. Okay, and the more you repeat your intentions, the more you crystallize them, and the more that it happens. Okay, so just imagine one intention that you do is, I intend for him to call me. All of a sudden he just thinks about you. But then you're like, I intend for him to call me. You say it a second time. And then all of a sudden he thinks about you again. He's like, okay, yeah, maybe I should call her. And then you do it 5 times and finally he's like, I'm going to call her. Yeah, this is a solid thought. I'm going to make time right now. So imagine every intention that you have, you're implanting that thought. You're telling it to the other person. Okay. So remember, your thoughts are never, like separate. They constantly are being overheard by everybody in your world. Everything too, actually. Everything. Everyone, everything is you pushed out is definitely. Um, let's take a look here. So we've got 28 minutes in. So 28 minutes. Where did that go? So Denise's question. So Denise's question is, I've been intending to have my specific person say, I love you, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful. Yes, you are. And I'm his best friend and the love of his life. Oh, that makes me feel good so to read. Oh, that's awesome. I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, yet I haven't heard him say anything I have to intend. I know I can't do anything wrong, yet I feel it should be here now. Anything I may be missing. Okay. Any ideas to hear these words? He will tell me I look good, or he will hug me really tightly when I tell him I love you. I just think he should be able to say I love you and call me sexy, etc. When I've asked him about this, the only thing he tells me is he is here, like I'm dating you. Oh, I'm here, I'm dating you. So what more do I need? Which gets me even more confused on how to figure out what's blocking me. Okay. So it's we want to know, are these intentions coming from him saying he loves you, sexy, beautiful? Are those things coming from you need to hear them? Like, are you attached to hearing them? From what it sounds like here, from his answer that he gave you, it sounds like you're attached. Like, I need to hear this, right? Like when we're attached to something, then we're blocking it. Okay. But when we're committed to something, right, we detach from it, we commit to it. It's like, you know what? No, specific person, I love our relationship the way it is. You make me feel good. I know you love me. I know you think I'm sexy. I know you think I'm beautiful, and then you say, intend to yourself, and I intend for you to hear it. So once we start automatically saying, look at, yeah, you know what, he does think these things and he will say these things, then he's going to. So what this is showing me is that you're attached to it some way, that you need him to say it because you've asked him, why don't you say these things? Okay, right there is coming from he doesn't want to say them. He's not going to say them. Okay, so we're attached because, you can intend he'll say it, but you already have to feel and believe that he thinks it, and then he's going to say it. If you think it's a big deal for him to say it, then he's not going to say it, right? So we've got attachment to him saying this. So you start saying that you are these things. You start saying that, you know what, he says them all the time. He's going to say them. And you know what, it's about just trusting and not putting the emphasis on that needs to happen. Okay, so you can still have it. I'm not saying don't need it, but I'm saying you can want it, but you can't need it. So you're attached to this. Okay, so we need to start saying, I love my life and I have a great relationship, and you know what, I would like him to say these things. Okay, so we need to detach whatever thoughts you're having that are attaching you to this, him saying these things. Those thoughts need to be changed. Okay, so that's definitely what's going on there. So 32 minutes. 32 minutes. 32 minutes. So, hey, Amanda, unfortunately, I did speak to my bestie about my specific person being friends. Oh, this is Amanda's question. With his ex on social media. While telling her, I also mentioned this will be the last time we speak about this because I don't want to be reminded or thinking about him in a negative manner. Now I'm just getting now I'm just getting thoughts that maybe I'm delaying the reality how I am. Like, how do you soothe yourself despite the negative everything will turn out good? Okay, like saying on top of your negative thoughts feel unrealistic. Okay, and feels like I'm lying to myself. Okay, okay, okay. So I get it. So sometimes, saying positive thoughts feel unrealistic and that you're lying to yourself. Okay. So first thing to battle that, um, oh yeah, she writes here, the reason why it feels like I'm trying to lie to myself is because my bestie is not an LOA and she is more of a fact type person. She says that the way she sees it, which almost everyone's like that. And when I'm trying to remain positive or state to her, watch, I will manifest the reality I want, we end up laughing about it because she doesn't take me seriously. And sometimes I don't take myself serious either. Okay. Excellent question. Okay. So basically, you're the creator of your reality. Okay. And things are only the way that it seems. So basically, what you're saying is the negative is what the actual reality is. Now, I mean, if you don't see it's possible for somebody to want to be with you or possible for someone to want you and only you, then you know what? It's going to seem like an uphill battle. So basically, your specific person is friends with his ex on social media. Okay. So right there, what's the problem with that? Okay, you're making that mean that you know what he's rejecting you for her somehow. Okay, I mean I've had lots of. I was actually at an event with one of my boyfriends, and their ex was there, and in fact we were all sitting together. So it's like, and my ex or my boyfriend at the time was like, here, let's sit with my ex together, and I was like, okay, because it doesn't mean anything. Okay, in fact, I took it as, wow, he wants to show me off because he's saying to his ex, look at that. You know what? He's got this new chick, instead of taking it as, oh, what? Maybe he's interested in his ex again. And that's why. So he's still friends with his ex. No big deal. Does that mean that he doesn't want me? No, absolutely not. I'm friends with some of my ex boyfriends as well. But that doesn't mean that, I want them at all. No, we don't have to not be friends with each other. Now, so you take a look at what you're making the X thing mean, okay? So I mean, so is your best friend saying that? Well, if he's friends with his ex, then the assumption is that you know what he's not interested in you. Well, no, of course it's not. Okay, so now your friend, okay, she is a matter of fact type of person. So she says the way she sees things is like when everyone does. So basically when you're trying to remain positive, then she doesn't take you seriously. Well, I mean, she doesn't sound like a matter of fact type person. I'm sorry, she sounds like a negative person. Okay. So like if you're gonna, if I was to say to her, look at like I was just being straight up honest, like, okay, look at what? I mean, you know what? He wants to be with me and we are going to be in a relationship. Oh, you're just being silly. He doesn't want to be with you. He's friended his ex. I mean, that's not, a matter of fact because you get to interpret what your reality looks like. Okay. You get to interpret what things in your reality mean. So take a look at everything in your reality. Okay. And is just because someone's friends with their ex, does that mean that they don't want to be with you? No. Does that mean they want to get back together with the ex? Not at all. Just means that they're friends with them on Facebook. No big deal. Okay. So you want to take and break down the meaning of everything that you're giving in your life, and you want to change that meaning to being an assumption that's going to work out for you. Now, is that not being based in reality? Absolutely not. That is based in reality. See, here's a good example. Okay, so let's say that I'm in a relationship with Gerry and we're friends with benefits. Okay, now I can make the friends with benefits mean that he's just using me and he doesn't want me. Now that's living from the end of rejection. Okay, now, or I can take the friends with benefits and say, well, we're friends with benefits because he wants to get into a relationship with me, and that's what this is leading to. And then, boom, now I'm living from the end of a relationship, and now that's my reality. Guess what? Is any of those scenarios actually the truth? No, neither of them are. Oh, just because my friend says that the friends with benefits, he's just using me is the reality of it. Does that mean that's the reality? Absolutely not. Okay, that's not. Okay, so we always want to, and in fact, you know what? I'm going to be straight up and honest. A lot of my relationships have started with friends with benefits and they've ended into relationships, okay? Because I make that assumption, okay? So You always want to focus on what you want. And is focusing on the positive mean that you're not based in reality? Absolutely not. I personally think that thinking negative about a situation is not based in reality. Okay. So, start intending with your friend that she's really positive and that she supports and she says loving, kind things about you two getting together. And everything that she says about your specific person encourages you, is an encouraging thing that says, yeah, you know what, this means he wants to be with you. This means make her to be a very positive person. Okay. Because you know what? I know a lot of people that don't even believe in the law of attraction, but they just automatically think positive. Okay. So positive thinking is that's all law of attraction is. It's positive thinking. Just focusing on what you want. Okay. So she doesn't need to know law of attraction to be positive. Okay. So all she needs to do to be positive is going, hey, look, you know what? No worries. He's friends with his ex on Facebook. Don't worry. A lot of people are. That doesn't mean he wants to be with her. That's being positive. That's being realistic, right? Okay. So start making some intentions here about your friend as well. Yeah, you can have and you can create her because she's you pushed out. You've created her like this. You can totally create her so she, is supportive and she says things that encourage you, right? So let's take a look here. Um, and let's see here. Pardon me. So 39 minutes. 39 minutes. Here we go. Next question. So 39 minutes in, we have Stephanie Ann's question. Thank you so much for what you do for. Thank you so much for all you do for this community. Oh, you're welcome. I have a friend who ghosted me almost 2 years ago. Oh no, it was out of nowhere. Sorry, guys, I'm thirsty here. I have continued to send her messages with no response. A year ago, March of 2019, she sent me a message saying, I'm sorry, I've been so distant and poopy friend to you. Please know it is not your fault, and I've just got some things to work through. I replied that I understood and hoped she was able to hang out soon. Over the course of 2019, I heard nothing from her. I would reach out every couple of months, no reply. She restricted me on social media and does not interact with me at all. Through the course of 2019, when I discovered more power, I know my thoughts create, and I have looked back in the past. I can see a lot of negative situations I created, obviously not, consciously, of course. So the situation absolutely baffles me even more because she told me it wasn't about me and then ghosted me again. Gotcha. If she had given me an explanation or other, I have things I'm working through. Well, okay, I may have been able to pinpoint the fear I manifested to have her ghost. I have been completely honest with myself over this journey of manifesting. I cannot think of one thought with this friend that could bring this on. I have intended to hear from her again and again and to get back what we had. I've always taken full responsibility for my 3D world faults, and now that I know about the real reality, I take full responsibility there as well. This scenario has me thrown. I'm stumped. Has anything similar to this happened to you where you cannot pinpoint the 3D action nor pinpoint the thought that led to the experience in my 3D world? My plan is to just let go. She told me it wasn't about me. I can't think of how it could be. I intend to hear from her soon and for this to be over, for her to be over any baggage that took her out of my 3D world. I just want to know your thoughts on this. Okay, so I get what you're saying. First of all, stop questioning. Stop questioning. Okay. You just want to, in overthinking, just go with, you know what, look at, she forgives and forgets everything in the past. She's ready to, she's over her baggage and she's ready to be friends with me again because I'm good enough. Like, that's just it. So stop questioning how you created things. I remember back when, I was like, this one person didn't want to commit to me. And I was like, why doesn't this one guy want to commit to me? So I went back into my brain and pardon me, I found that like when I was like 30 years old, I said something to my girlfriend about, guys that were previously married didn't want to be in commitments. And it was like I was 30 years old or something. I was quite young. And I know I don't look a day over 30 now. Thank you guys. Then I turned around and I spent 4 hours trying to figure out. I dug through my brain. I figured it out that I said it when I was 30 years old and I didn't even mean it. I just said it in a conversation. And then guess what? After I pinpointed it, I still had to change it anyway. and say that he was over his baggage and ready for a relationship. So what my point is here is no, you don't need to pinpoint what's going on. Questioning, pinpointing, looking for a block, overthinking is only creating another block. Just start focusing on what you want. When you focus on what you want, what's going to happen is other blocks that you have, you'll notice them. You'll be like, wait a minute. You'll be thinking, oh, I intend for her to call me. What if she doesn't really forgive me that one day? No, she forgives me. She's over it. I intend for her, So keep focusing on what you want. Stop questioning. Okay. She told you the block. Maybe there's nothing really there. It's just like, you created that people drift apart for no reason. And then that's what happened. Right. So, instead of trying to figure out how you created something, you can just go straight to just intending of what you want. Okay. So don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out how you create something. Okay. Just start focusing on what you want. And when you start focusing on what you want, your reality will start to show you the blocks and the things that are missing, or if we're lucky enough, and we always are, you'll just start to create it and you'll start to rebuild it. Okay. So, really start to go with she unblocks me. We're talking on social media. We pick up right where we left off, like really start to put all your focus towards that. No questioning, no questioning, no questioning. Don't question, no questioning. I'm going to say it again. No questioning. No questioning. So, and I know you're going to be successful. 44 minutes. In 44 minutes, and we have another question. So, Felicia's question is, hey, Amanda, I'm a new member. Hello, thank you. I'm on a journey of aligning with being loved by somebody, a man who's 32 years younger than myself. Right on. Go for it. I'm already feeling a lot better about this than before, telling myself that human sexuality is complex and people get attracted to each other for all kinds of reasons. Usually, what I create is that people are attracted to each other for the way that they make you feel, anyways, about themselves, right? So there are certainly reasons to be attracted to me because I'm a very brilliant and interesting person. And this thought feels like a relief. I'm trying to make my way towards the imaginational act where I can imagine that he looks at me with love and lust in his eyes. And this has been very hard. I immediately feel delusional. Although when I ask myself, is this true? My heart tells me yes. Okay. So I'm not 100% sure what the question is here, to be perfectly honest. I'd say go for it and make intentions. Yeah, if you want to, clarify maybe, what the question is, I'm not sure. I believe you can do it. I intend you're going to do it. And I know you're going to be successful, and, keep focusing on what you want. Okay. And keep pushing towards what you want. Okay. And the more you reaffirm what you want, the closer and the quicker it's going to come. Okay. But if you could, maybe clarify the question. I'm not sure what the question is. Okay. So Sarah's got the next question on here. So at 46 minutes. So 46 minutes is, what kind of techniques would you use to manifest a famous person in your life? The same as I would just anybody. But I would say that it's absolutely possible, and that, famous people are just like everybody else. And they seriously are. I've met famous people before, and they're just like, hey. And I'm like, hey, right? I think the important thing is to take them off the pedestal, thinking that they're like this great thing. But I mean, you know what? Like lots of people meet celebrities and like get their autographs, like no big deal. Okay. So I think it would be a cool test of being God of your universe to make us to manifest a celebrity crush into your life. I have one I would like to try this with, but I'm unsure how to bypass my lack of belief. So you bypass your lack of belief with intentions, intentions, intentions. Okay. And I think that retelling the story that these celebrities are something that's unreachable is going to be another big part of it. Okay. So take all of your thoughts, okay, of your beliefs about the situation, write them down, and then take a look. Which one are you going to keep? Pardon me. Which ones are you going to change, and go from there? Okay. So let's say one of them is like, oh, a celebrity will never notice me. Well, cross that out. I intend for a celebrity to notice me. What happens if one of the thoughts are, I'm never going to run into a celebrity? Like if you cross that out and say, I run into celebrities everywhere I go, maybe one of your thoughts is, oh, they've always got bodyguards around them. and cross that out and say, no, I intend to run into them and for them to actually talk to me. Right. So, yeah, take a look. Restart changing your story that way. And, for everybody on this call, as Rachel, too, I answered your question earlier, was, start creating, everyone as you pushed out and a list of manifestations in other areas of your life to really see this working because it's so important, so important. So, again, guys, everyone with the question in the chat, we're reading all the questions off the Patreon group. These are Patreon's members' questions. We do this every single week. The link is actually in the description of the video to join the Patreon and ask your question every single week. So we do this every week. So that's where I'm answering the questions from for these lives. Okay, so 48 minutes. So 48 minutes in. Oh, what happened here? 48 minutes. 48 minutes. Can you give tips on intentions to win the lottery? Yeah, I intend to win the lottery. People win the lottery every day, and it's going to be me. I'm going to win the 33 million. I am good enough to win the lottery. Money constantly comes to me. I always win the lottery. One thing that I've been doing, and it's kind of like stopped now that I'm not going to the store very often, but I started buying lottery tickets, and then as I started buying, I said, I always win free ticket. I always win a free ticket. So I kept winning free tickets. And then I said, well, I always win $5. Then I started winning $5. Now, like I was up to 50, right? So, keep putting it out there, keep intending, okay, that you're going to win. Okay. So again, though, the biggest thing, the most powerful intentions, guys, are to write down what your major doubts are. Okay. Because that's the one that's going to be the ticket. Okay. So like, sometimes, let's say, somebody is manifesting somebody's one block will be different from another person's block. And it's all based on your past experience, past beliefs, past thoughts, past everything. Okay. So, what your particular winning, intention is going to be to win that lottery, it's going to depend on what your biggest block is. Okay. What your biggest doubt is about it and the whole entire story that you're shifting to change to. Okay. So, yeah. So those are the ones I gave you that I would do. And then write out that list to find out what your particular thoughts are. A lot of times with money, it's being worthy of being able to have a lot of money. And so take money off the pedestal. Okay. Definitely take stuff off the pedestal. So let's take a look here at, so 49 minutes in, and we have Danielle's question, 49 minutes. So Danielle's question is as follows. Hi, Amanda. I've been manifesting my specific person back, and I've made some progress. Woohoo! I've been trying to manifest this talking every day. Love it. There'll be times where he texts me all day, every day, and we have great conversations. And then times where we don't talk at all or very little. I've texted him first, which I don't mind doing. But if I'm the last person to send a text, I would prefer it if he were the one to text me next instead of me double texting, if that makes sense. Way overthinking here. Let's just start going. He texts me every day. He constantly texts me. If we're making him texting you first mean something, then you're blocking it. Okay. So it doesn't matter who texts who, but guess what? He's always the one that texts me first. I'm happy with the way he texts. He constantly texts me. Okay. So let's start with that there for the texting. I've been instating intentions like we talk every day. He loves talking to me. He always replies. Talking to him makes me happy. I'm worthy of his love and attention. We grow closer every day. Love it. I can't tell if I'm missing something or if I'm just standing in my own way by questioning. Yes, you are standing in your own way by questioning if it hasn't happened yet. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you say here, sorry, I'll read this again. I can't tell if I'm missing something or if I'm just standing in my own way by questioning why it hasn't happened yet. If it's been a few days of me consistently saying my intentions and I haven't heard from him. Yeah, you've got to keep going past that. When do you give up on your intention? Never. I mean, you know what, guys, there's been intentions I've made. They pretty much manifested instantly. Other intentions I made didn't manifest for 3 months, but not once did I ever question why they haven't shown up. It's about trusting and believing in yourself. And if it hasn't shown up yet and you noticed it hasn't, recreate it. It's happening. It's happening now. Recreate your intention if you notice the lack of it. Okay. But never question why it's not there yet. Okay. Sometimes I'll intend for him to text me and it'll happen within a few hours. And other times it takes me a week. I feel like when it isn't happening when I'm saying my intentions for a few days, it makes me question if I'm missing something, and then I go looking for blocks. Okay, so that is a block in itself. So we've got to stop doing that. Get back on the intentions. Questioning. I always say this. I remember when I used to question. I one day I sat there, I was questioning, and then I went, wait a minute. If everyone's me pushed out, and I'm the only person in my reality, I'm like, who's going to answer these questions? Boom! It hit me. Whoa! I can't ask any questions. Nobody's going to answer them. I'm the only one here. Hold on. Okay. Boom. Right onto intention. So again, right? Guys out there asking questions. Who's going to answer you? You're the creator of your reality. Nobody's going to answer those questions for you. You're only going to create more blocks. Okay. Another thing is getting rid of a third party. Okay, so getting rid of a third party, self-love. Okay, I love myself. I love myself. He loves me. I'm good enough. Insecurities, and even just simply, oh, he's going to be with somebody else and not me, will create it. So get to the root of why you created this, okay, or how you created it, or just go straight to wants to be with me. They're gone. They're broken up. We are going to be together. Okay, so she showed up 2 weeks after we broke up, and it made me feel like I wasn't good enough to be with him. I started to question maybe if he stopped talking to me, possibly because he felt bad about talking to me while he was still with her. But quickly I switched it to, he's so grateful that I'm back in his life. And besides, he's unapologetic about the fact that he wants to be with me. Well, there was no problem with it before. There is certainly no problem with it now. I've been manifesting her out of the picture and stating that I make him the happiest, and she goes off and finds someone better. Good. I've also been stating how he would leave anyone to be with me because I'm good enough and deserve to be happy and I'm irreplaceable. However, I do notice that she still randomly pops in my head. Okay, so do you have any intentions to speed up the process of removing her? Yeah, you know what? I'm good enough to have him want me and only me. I'm good enough for him to leave her for me. I'm good enough for him to be with me. I'm good enough to have a relationship with somebody that I want, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen now. So, more focus on just you guys being together and not making it a big deal when she pops in your head. She pops in her head and be like, whatever. I've got boyfriends where, their ex pops in my head and like, whatever. It's like, he so doesn't want to be with her because I'm like the best, right? So start creating that. You can also start creating intentions that, what he does want to be with you. And, and he tells you that, and he tells you that he will leave any woman for you. Right. So, but again, the questioning is probably what's slowing a lot of this down. Okay. Yeah, so 54 minutes, and we're on to Christine's question. Hello, Christine. You are amazing. And I'll put an exclamation, 54 minutes. There we go. So, hi, Amanda. I finally remembered a question I had. You said you would, when I chatted with you said you would have a question. You had a question, but you forgot. So now we remembered. Awesome. I have a question about fears, particularly my fear of heights. Ooh. I know that fears are irrational and made up. Some fears I face daily, I have no choice but to encounter them, and therefore they're reducing fast. I have to think about them and control my mental diet around them, and it works. I go to make intentions for my fear of heights, and no matter the wording, my brain says stuff like that. It's kind of like if I work on the fear, I have to face it, and I don't want to face it, so I avoid it. Okay, then in my life, I'm faced with the heights, and it's crippling. I wish I had worked on it. Because I'm not faced with it all the time, sometimes I even forget that I even have the fear, and I forget the name to work on it. This is until I'm face to face with heights and I'm stuck in a situation and I haven't worked on it in the moment, and my thoughts are all over the place. Thanks in advance. Okay, so I'm a big believer of facing your fears. I used to have a fear of heights. And I just put myself, like, there was this place that I used to walk, and it was actually quite high. Actually, it wasn't even that high. That would make me scared. But it was like this, like, little sort of like, platform, and you look down and it was high. And while I was up there, I said, look, I'm comfortable. I love heights. I feel comfortable in heights. And I just put myself in the situation. I said, okay, I'm going to work on it. And I purposely went to that spot to work on my fear of heights. So, I mean, that's one way that you can do it. The other way that you can do it is you can actually dedicate yourself to, taking time to work on your fear and say, look at, no, you know what, you visualize yourself, in a high spot, you say, or you just do intentions, you know what, I feel good in heights. I love being up high. I mean, the other thing that actually helped me, especially with the fear of heights, was realizing that I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of falling. That's what I'm scared of. The heights isn't bad. It's the falling that's the problem. And somebody I once heard that, there's two things that humans are scared of. The loud noises and the fear of falling, because both things back in the day meant, danger for us, right? So some of the intentions that I created when I identified it wasn't the actual fear of heights, it was the fear of falling. I would say, okay, I'm safe. Okay, I'm up high. I'm comfortable. I feel safe. I'm on a secure platform. I feel good. I think the view is beautiful. I love relaxing and enjoying the view. But I mean, really, for something like heights, I would actually go to the place and work and dedicate time to go work on the fear. Okay. And as well as create intentions when you're not actually, in a high spot, but I would still go and face the fear, put yourself in the high spot that's safe and start talking yourself out of the fear. That's going to be the quickest way. But at some point, whether it's just intentions more high to talk yourself out of it, you've got to put work towards it. Okay. Because at some point you've created the fear. So now you've got to recreate that you're comfortable and yeah, say I intend for it to be easy to get over my fear of heights. I intend for myself to enjoy being up high. It feels good, right? And put the trust in it. So you're going to have to put some time aside to actually, face the fear and to work through the fear and to get rid of the fear. Okay. So I intend that helps. So we've got now Rachel's question. So at 58 minutes. So 58 minutes. We've got 58 minutes. Hi, Amanda. Thanks so much for last week. You're amazing. Oh, you're welcome. It was really good, wasn't it? Can I intend that a behavior makes my specific person feel bad, and this is why he doesn't want to do it anymore? Yeah, you can intend that you can actually. There's nothing wrong with that. Is that okay? I know that you and Neville say don't do anything you wouldn't want to happen to you onto anyone. Well, the thing is, right, is you have to ultimately experience what you put out there. Okay. So, if him feeling bad is going to make you feel bad, then I probably wouldn't intend that. Maybe I think what you're going for is, you know, okay, so basically, I think what you're going for is that, what he decides to put his family first and, that he apologizes for his behavior and he starts to shift his behavior because he wants to make you happy. I think that's what it comes from. Okay, because making him intending that he feels bad, where that's coming from is that he's doing wrong to you. And that's your core thought. Because if you thought he wanted to put you first, you wouldn't have to intend him to feel bad. If you thought he wanted to put the family first and to change his behavior to, spend time with you and your family, you wouldn't want to make it, you wouldn't be thinking about making him feel bad. So making him feel bad and intending he feels bad is not coming from the end of my life is great. He spends time with me. We do things together. We're a happy family. Okay. So if we were a happy family and he acted exactly the way I wanted him to act, what would my thoughts be? What would his actions be? Okay. So that's where you want to make your intentions from. So yes, you can intend that he feels bad. However, that still isn't, the full picture of it. You've got to keep going from there and saying, okay, look at, he quit doing this because he felt bad and he just decided to put his family first. Okay. But just focus on him putting his family first. I mean, why spend all that time trying to, make him feel terrible about it when you don't want him to feel terrible. You just want him to put you first and to have you as the main focus and to behave in a certain way. So more focus on him behaving in that certain way rather than on the problem. Okay. If that makes sense, I intend that it does. Okay. So 1 hour and 1 minute, and we have SK's question. So the question is 1 hour. Okay. So Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for answering these great questions. You're welcome. I've been thinking about the advice you provided last week, and I think what's blocking me is a fear of change. Ooh, that's good insight. More specifically, I'm afraid of leaving a relatively secure position for something that I would really love to do. I fear that I'm giving up security for something unknown, and that I might be successful. Oh, then I might not be successful. Can I intend that everything will work out smoothly and easily and that I will be successful? Could you suggest some intentions to get over this fear? Yeah, so basically, right? I mean, how I do it, right? And I get this. You know what? I made a huge change in my life just recently. And yesterday I looked back at everything and I was like, what was I so scared of? I'm like, I wish I did this sooner. Oh, like, how crazy is that? Okay, that's just the way it works. Okay, so, you know, basically, right, you want to keep reminding yourself that your thoughts create everyone as you pushed out, and you want to keep focused on what you want. Okay, so you know what, I know this is going to work out. Okay, I know I'm going to be successful. I know this is going to be amazing. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I know I'm going to manifest this. Everything is going to work out for me. Okay, and the one thing that I am going to say is that, I've created a lot of things in my life and a lot of things that I've been scared that I'd fail at. Okay. Lots. I quit a really good job to start a business. And yeah, I struggled for 2 years at it before I actually got it right. But you know what, though? The entire time, all I kept doing was I kept manifesting other things in my life. Okay. So I manifested in all these different other areas stuff that really didn't make that weren't really a big deal, but they gave me confidence in myself. They gave me, trust in my intentions. They made me trust myself, because the only person you need to trust here is you, and trust your intentions. Okay. And have that trust. Okay. To the point where I'm at the point now where I make an intention. I'm not even sure why I even get worried, because I'm like, I know it's coming. Okay. So you've got to talk yourself into trusting yourself. Okay. And part of trusting yourself is going out and practicing your power, going out and making intentions, going out and practicing it on everybody to see how everyone is pushed out. And the more evidence you get of it, the stronger your belief becomes, the more confidence you get in yourself, the easier it is to take those leaps of faith into doing things that you really truly want, but you're scared of doing. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to write out all of your fears, okay? And you want to take those fears and you want to write out your positive intentions from them, okay? Those are going to be your most powerful intentions, because it's your core fear that's going to be what you need to change. Now, those are different, like I said, for everybody, okay? So, but again, you know what? I would go with, I intend it works out smoothly and easily. I am going to be successful. I'm excited about this. I know it's going to work out. So things like that as well, okay? So Jade's question, and we're at an hour 4 minutes. So let's take a look here. Um, let's see here. There we go. So let's take a look here. We've got an hour and 4 minutes. Let's put this in here. So 1 hour and 4 minutes. 1 hour and 4 minutes. So Jade's question. I recently decided to take major action with my specific person, and I wrote him a long message, basically pouring my heart out. I haven't seen it yet, but it feels like it's the right thing to do. Sent it yet? Don't send it. Don't send it. Please don't send it. But I'm a bit nervous. Okay, no, I know. Please don't send that message. I know he's me pushed out, and I have been intending for a couple months that he's in love with me and wants to be with me. But since we don't interact as frequently as I like, it's hard to tell where I am with my manifestation. Should I just go for it? I've been intending how I want him to respond when I send the message. Is this enough? Okay. So a lot of times I'm going to say don't send it, but I'm going to go and explain some things here. So you can send it if you want, up to you. But where is it coming from? Okay, so you're questioning what this other person thinks about you. That's why you want to send this message. Okay, so you're only going to get back wishy-washy from them. Okay, so you're nervous. Okay, so that nervousness tells me that it's coming from a place of lack, scared. Okay, and normally when these messages go out to people, they don't come back with what you want to hear. Okay, because we're supposed to be coming from the assumption that the person wants to be with us, and this is the way the person feels about us. Okay. And you've got a lot of 3D sort of evidence right now that's not supporting where you want the relationship to be. Okay. So don't send the message. And this is what you would want to do instead is you want to start intending that the communication starts up more, that you guys talk all the time, and you want to start building the relationship. Okay. So you want to start building a relationship. So you talk yourself into the point where you don't need to send this message. The question is why do you want to send this message? Like, what is the purpose of you sending this message? Okay. Are you sending the message pouring your heart out because you think he likes you? If you think that he likes you, I don't understand why we need to send the message. Do you see what I'm saying? So what's the reason why we need to send the message? Okay, is the question. Okay, so if I'm living from the end of being in a relationship with the person, I never need to pour my heart out and tell, Andrew everything and, how much I, love him and da da da, because we know that, like I'm living from that end, that's the way we both feel about each other. So I don't have to tell him that to get anything back from him. Do you see what I'm saying? So you've got to already intend that you're going to get action that you want in the 3D world. So if I was in a relationship with this person, what would their thoughts be? What would their actions be? So instead, start putting the focus on, they text me every day. We talk all the time. You know what? We always have great conversations. Our relationship grows closer and closer every day. We're constantly interacting. They're constantly giving me evidence that they want a relationship with me. Focus on all of that. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. I would avoid sending the message, because if we don't get the reply back, then we're setting ourselves up for rejection. And again, why are we sending the message? Are we sending the message because it's like, I'm so happy and grateful that I have you and that you love me and da 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 da? Or is it, I'm pouring my heart out to you because I want to know what you feel about me? Okay. So, let's go straight to, going from the end of, that's already how they feel about you, and starting to create those intentions around that end. I mean, you can send it if you like. However, a lot of times, depending on the context of the relationship, it's not coming from, they want to be with me, right? Because if you felt like they wanted to be with you and you had that close relationship with them, you wouldn't need to pour your heart out. Usually that comes from please be with me, please forgive me, please want to be with me. This is going to make you want to be with me sort of thought process. Okay. Um, okay, well, no, I mean, you can tell him how you feel, but I mean, if like I'm saying, where is that coming from? If that telling you how you feel is coming from, you want him to want you, then it's not going to turn out the way you want. But again, your reality. So, make that choice. The question is where is it coming from is the whole question there. Okay. But again, you're nervous before you want to send it, Jade. So that tells me that it's not coming from, what, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you and what I think about you sort of, feeling, because you wouldn't be nervous if that was the case. Okay. So Legendary's got a question. Hello, Amanda. I have a question regarding the everyone is you pushed out. I can't seem to get around my head. So the question is basically how people can reject us when we try to push them in this 3D reality. And if they're not conscious, then how do they have the ability to think? But if we think something for them and they think it's their idea, this also means that they have some type of consciousness. Or can you help me clarify this? Okay, so I get it. How can people reject us when we try to push them? Okay, so pushing them, convincing people, okay, is coming from they don't want to be with me. Okay, so for instance, okay, I'm gonna call Gerry, right, and I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna ask him why doesn't he want to be with me. Okay, that's coming from he doesn't want to be with you. Okay, so he's going to have to act like he doesn't want to be with you. Okay, so again, and applies to your question too, Jade, about sending the message, is where is it coming from? Is your action thought coming from they want to be with me? Okay, so if your thought was they want to be with you, then would you need to ask them why they don't want to be in a relationship with you? Absolutely not. because you already know if you know that they like you and want to be with you, why would we need to tell them? Like if you intend and they know you intend that they know that you love them and want to be with them, then why do we need to tell them how we feel to because they don't know? So that's the question: is where is your action and thoughts coming from? Okay. Now your dominant thoughts will manifest. Okay. So people will reject us when we try to push them because we're only pushing them because we don't verbally in 3D because we don't think that they want to give us what we want. Okay. So like another good example of that is like this. Well, you know what? That's it. You know what? I'm going to threaten to leave and that's going to make him want to be with me. Okay. That statement is very much coming from he doesn't want to be with me. Okay. So, again, it's like, okay, well, same thing with like a lot of times, the 30-day no contact rule. Well, that's it. You know what? I'm going to stop talking to him and for 30 days so he realizes how much he wants to be with me. That statement again is coming from he doesn't want to be with me. Okay. So, let's take a look at what we're actually putting out to people. Now, the other thing that may, show up as like, that people that they've got their own consciousness is, okay, well, I intend for him to want to be with me, but yet I'm nervous. Okay. So that nervousness are thoughts that are creating that the other person doesn't want to be with you. And that's going to be a wall. They're going to have to act like they reject you. Okay. So it's about shifting the whole entire, the whole entire story that you have and asking yourself, where is your thoughts? Where are your actions stemming from? What's the core thought that you have there? What's the core belief? Okay. So you wouldn't need to have a relationship talk with somebody that you thought wanted to be in a relationship with you. Okay. You wouldn't need to clear the air with somebody that you thought had no problem with, that your relationship is fine. You wouldn't need to talk about your relationship with somebody that you thought you had a fine relationship with. Okay. So as far as like myself, like as far as Jade's message goes, is, I would, yes, I would actually sit down and tell somebody how I felt about them, over a nice romantic dinner when, I'm already in a relationship and I know that we both feel the same way about the person. I wouldn't send that message to somebody that I'm trying to get to date me or to start, because that's again not coming from the assumption that they want to date you. That's trying to get to change the situation. Okay. Does that make sense? So, take a look at where it's coming from. Like for instance, romantic dinner, you're sitting there and it's like, you know what, this is the time to basically pour out our love and to tell each other how much we love and appreciate each other. Great. No problem. Right. Okay. So it may seem like other people have consciousness, but they're just reflecting back. They do have consciousness. They have a piece of yours. They have your subconscious mind vibrating away inside of them. Okay. So keep practicing, everyone, as you pushed out. Like seriously, you'll believe this when you practice it. Okay. The more you practice it, you're going to be absolutely unstoppable in life. Okay. Like seriously. Yeah. So for 1 hour, 14 minutes. So 1 hour, 14 minutes. Emma's question. 1 hour, 1 hour and 14 minutes. I gotta type that in here, guys. Okay, minutes. Here we go. I think I spelled minutes right. If I didn't, you guys forgive me, I'm sure. Okay, so Amanda, first off, I want to thank you and your team for everything that you do, and I hope you and your team and everyone is watching is staying safe. Yeah, I intend that everyone's staying safe, and I really intend that this all ends soon. And they seriously come up with a cure for viruses. Like, yeah, I'm so done with this. I have a couple questions regarding manifesting specific people back. I've been manifesting him back, pardon me, for a while. He does reach out now and then, and it's him that initiates things. As soon as he messages, I start thinking, is it it? Is this the start? And then start worrying about contact fading again, which then happens because he is an ex. I compare how he used to communicate to basically chase to how it is now, and it seems more guarded. Okay, so he's been with a third party who doesn't treat him well. So then I question myself over why I'm not good enough to choose him over me. Over Christmas, I began referring to her as the ex, and shortly after they split, he then began reaching out to me, wanted to come and see me, but at the time, my brother was staying. I said he could come over, but he gets on with, well, my brother to start with. So he said yes. And then I started to doubt if he would. So yes, then he didn't. I'm not surprised. Now I'm worried. I messed everything up and missed my chance. I then began fearing he'd get back with the ex. He was living with his parents and she made him rent his house out because of this virus and his father's health. He moved with his friend, but then shortly after moved in with the ex. And my biggest fear is for them to get closer, her trapping him while they're on lockdown. In a weird turn of events, his best friend that my specific person was staying with, I'm also friends with, and his partner split. Him and his partner split in January. So I'm helping his friend back together with his ex as we speak daily. It's 100% platonic, and he's a long-term family friend. I'm thinking the universe is playing with me. I'm helping his friend, and probably 6 months plus, I scripted about the four of us going on a double date. So this is part of my bridge of incidences. I know my Pacific person friend has always spoken highly of me to my SP, and so I'd imagine he'll be telling my SP I'm helping him. I'm genuinely helping his friend because I care, not as in a way with my SP. And my SP knows him and his friends have been friends for years, as I know his friend first. So how can I turn my situation around? I don't want him getting closer to this girl on lockdown. His family and friends don't approve of her. How can I stay strong and have healthy communication? Have I missed my opportunity? Many help and thanks. So, okay. So basically, Emma, you've got to talk yourself out of your fear and you have to stay on a strict mental diet. Everything in your reality is a direct reflection of what your thoughts are. That's what's showing up in your outer reality. Okay. So you've got to start recreating the story about what you want him to think. You have to stay on top of your thoughts because as you see, you know what, he's going to come over, you get worried, and then all of a sudden he's not going to come over. Okay. And you've got to start doing some, self like love. I'm doing a video on it tomorrow about creating that you're good enough. You're good enough to have this because you need to take them off of the pedestal. Okay. So the universe isn't playing with you. There's nobody out there other than yourself. Everybody is you pushed out. So when your thoughts are in a consistent focus towards what you want, then your reality is going to be consistent with what you want. When your thoughts are all over the place, then guess what? Your reality is going to be all over the place. Okay. So we want to focus. What do we want? And we want to keep all of our thoughts on that focus. And we want to stop questioning what other people think. Okay. So you want to start focusing on what you want him to think, and you've got to stay on top of your thoughts. Okay. That is the biggest thing. You've never missed any opportunity. You actually create whether or not things are an opportunity or not. And yeah, so if you want to have strong, healthy communication, then I intend for us to have strong, healthy communication. What I suggest, right, is to write down all of your fears, your doubts, and create, take that list and change it into positive intentions, and then start creating and what you want. I intend to have healthy communication. State that constantly. Okay. So what here isn't a lack of, creating intentions. What's lacking here is the mental diet. Okay. So we really want to stay on a strict mental diet of focusing only on what we want. No overthinking, no questioning, no wondering, no, worrying, none of that. Okay. We want to stick straight on what we want. And the more we redirect ourselves to it and practice it, the easier it becomes. Okay. So let's take a look here. So 1 hour and 19 minutes, and we have Allie's question. 1 hour and 19 minutes. Okay, so Allie's question is, I had a question about subliminals. Awesome. My understanding is that with subliminals, you can't hear the affirmation, just the music. I've heard some subliminals where they have the music with the affirmations being clearly heard. I think those are called subliminals are ones where you can't hear it. Well, it doesn't really matter, but I mean, the ones where you can hear like the what's being said, I would call it an affirmation, or I would call it a probably a superliminal. They say superliminal superliminal stimuli, right? But basically, it's affirmation with music. Okay. I guess I'm confused as to which one is correct, or if it really matters, or if it just comes down to your belief. 100% comes down to your belief. If you think it's going to work, it's going to work. If you don't think it's going to work, it's not going to work. I was wondering what your thoughts on were this. I'm finding conflicting information as to what subliminals are. Also, could it be just effective to have your to record your own affirmations and play them while you're sleeping? Absolutely. I know the mental diet throughout the day is the most important, absolutely. But I'm curious about subliminals. I hope these questions make sense. So yeah, absolutely. So you know what? Subliminals don't do anything if you still have a bad mental diet. I mean, the thing is, right, is we can't put anything in our subconscious and just expect it to be there, because we have conscious thought and we have free will. Okay. So let's say, I'm doing subliminals to be a doctor for like 10 years, but then I decide, no, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. And then all of a sudden, consciously, I change my mind and I want to be like, I don't know, law of attraction coach, right? So then what? I mean, my conscious thought can go ahead and reprogram all of those subliminals I was doing in my head for 10 years to be a doctor. Okay, because we have free choice. Our subconscious mind serves our conscious mind. So subliminals, I mean, intend that they work. The subliminals that you can't hear the affirmation, just the music. I mean, make sure you trust them, make sure that you create good intentions, make sure that you feel and you say that they're going to work, and they're going to work. If you don't think they're going to work, they're not going to work. If you think they're going to mess you up, then they're going to mess you up. So again, you put your intention into things that you want to do. Okay. And then, yeah, you can also, as well, put your own voice, record affirmations, and listen to them as well. I mean, I personally think recording your own affirmations are going to be way more powerful than any other affirmations because, again, you can really hit what your blocks are, okay? Because everyone's blocks are different. Okay. So whereas one person may have a block that they're not good enough, the other person may just have a block that there's no abundance. I mean, those are two separate things. Let's say, for instance, with money, I've got this block that there's like a scarcity of money. Okay. I mean, if I say I'm good enough to have money, that doesn't get rid of the block of scarcity. I have to say that there's an abundance of money. So definitely creating your own intentions are going to be way more powerful than anything that anyone can give you without hearing your story. Right. So, I mean, that's why we need to hear the story to create blocks, or to not create, sorry, to figure out your blocks, to create intentions for you, because that's what we need to know to be able to create the most powerful ones, right? Your thoughts are the ones that create. So, we've got to pinpoint, and you've got to pinpoint what thoughts are blocking what your manifestation is going to be. So, yeah, but again, anything that you do, intend it's going to work. So, yeah. Okay, so 1 hour and 23 minutes, and we have Allie's question. 1 hour and 23 minutes. I think I said it was last. Was Allie's question last? Oh my goodness. Minutes. There we go. Oh, minutes so much. It was. Sorry. That last question was Lisa's question. I knew it. This is Allie's question. Hello. So I was wondering about prior manifestations. I've been working hard on my mental diet, scripting every day, working on self-love, and trying to focus on the positive and live in the end. But things are still not changing. I'm actually seeing the opposite of what I want. It's really hard to keep going when I see this happening. Do my previous manifestations have to play out completely before my new ones begin? If so, then is manifestation I'm trying to create will never work. Well, no, okay. So I'm getting more and more upset, and it's getting worse and worse. Okay, so I'm gonna end up going to court, and I may end up with an outcome that really hurts my daughter. Help me, help. Okay, so we're getting upset now. That's not living from the end, and that's not a mental diet. Okay, so a mental diet is basically focusing on what you want and having zero negative emotions, zero worries, zero doubt, zero all of that. Okay, so if we're getting more and more upset, that's why we're getting the opposite, and it's getting worse because you're creating that. Okay, so no, your old manifestations, they don't have to play out completely. You start changing them. You start changing them now. Okay. But what's happening is when you're upset and you're focusing on it, then you're actually creating more of what you don't want. Okay. So you've really got to change around your thoughts to the point where you feel neutral, natural about it. You're void of any negative emotion. Okay. So that's what's going on here. Okay. You've got to talk yourself out of that negative emotion. You got to stay on your mental diet. This is working. My life is going to turn around. I am going to win in court. Okay. If you find yourself getting upset, that means you have to get on top of your mental diet even more. Okay. So 1 hour and 25 minutes. And we've got Rose's question. Okay. So I was spelling minutes wrong. I spelled minutes wrong, I think, on a couple. Rose says, hi, I first saw the situation of the virus as a possible bridge of events, but now I'm finding myself caught up in ideas I have manifested that are a lot scarier than the virus, which I'm not afraid of. I'm worried that this has gone too long and hurting the economy, and I'm in survival mode. I feel less interested in my specific person manifestation, and I'm generally feeling discouraged. Like I took a serious wrong turn in an alternate reality. Not sure how to proceed when this is going on in the world. Okay. So, guys, we all just need to start right now focusing on, okay, when is this going to end? You know what? I intend, duh. I intend, duh. We really got to start focusing on what is going to happen and what's going to come of this. Okay. And, intending the economy is going to be fine and that it's going to end and it's going to end really soon and everybody's adapting and changing and surviving. Okay. So the other thing is now I just want to talk about bridge of events, okay? Bridge of events is actually everything is a bridge of events, okay? The question is it a bridge of events to something you want or is it a bridge of events to something you don't want, okay? Bridge of events are not something that somebody puts there and you're like, oh, that's a bridge. No, you look back and you know what? Let's say, for instance, me and Gerry are fighting a lot and I have a lot of insecurities and we break up. Then I look back and I'm like, in hindsight, you know what? Us fighting and my insecurities, that was a bridge to us breaking up. Okay. You can only see bridges looking back. It's not something you choose, get to, okay, I thought that was a bridge. No, it's not a bridge. Everything is a bridge of events. And where is it leading to? Wherever you want. Okay. You can only look back and say that was a bridge to that. That was a bridge to that because that's after you create. Okay. Because nothing is written yet until you actually create it going forward. So what we want to do is we want to start getting on top of our intentions. Okay. So if we're starting to have fear and scared, then we're not on top of a mental diet. Okay. So let's get clear. What is going to go on? What are you going to fix? What is when is this going to end? Start focusing on that rather than beating yourself up for creating this. Okay. Because you're perfect. It's no big deal. It got created. How is this going to work out? Let's start focusing on everybody being healthy, the cure for the virus. Let's start focusing on life going back to normal. Let's start saying that this is going to create even stronger economy. Okay. Let's start focusing on what we want to create here. Okay. If we're getting fear and anger and scared, then we're no longer focusing on a mental diet. Okay. So we want to change that. So Kim's question. I got my specific person back. Woohoo! Things are going well, except it's not where I want it to be. Met with Megan. Megan's amazing. As well, she gave me some pointers, but he remains so stressed out at work because of what's going on with the world. We hung out twice and we haven't, done it because I'd stress. Okay. I just keep saying it will happen. Don't worry. Seems the story of him is still there. Stressed that I'm not a priority. He doesn't feel the need. He doesn't. He feels he doesn't need a relationship at the moment because sees its added stress. Maybe offer me affirmations and chip to make my SP into what I want to be in a relationship with me. In the past, I've always struggled with not being good enough. So I always say I'm good enough to be in a relationship with him, but I'm good enough to have whatever I want. Okay, you need to change the story about him. That's really where it's falling flat, as well as, you know what, I am good enough to be a priority. I am good enough to have what I want. You know what, he handles stress well and he does want to be with me. So again, focus on him and take all your complaints about him, change them into positive intentions. Okay. Everybody that's manifesting somebody, I mean, until you can actually sit there and declare clearly that this person wants you, wants to be with you, and you've said it to yourself so much that you've created a belief out of it, then it's not going to fully manifest. So really spend your time focusing and declaring what you want that other person to think about you. Okay. And so 1 hour and 30 minutes, and we have Amrani's question here. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay. So, hey, Amanda, this time I have an SP related question. Sure. But before, I have to tell you how she used to be before I projected a special behavior on her. So she was someone that always texted back, and she even said that she is someone that always texts back every message. Now, I projected on her that she's okay with it, not to respond. Sometimes even questions or questions or when I asked her out. Okay, so she doesn't always respond when you ask her questions or ask her out. She even told me that block, and said that she used to be someone that often doesn't reply to her friends, and that her friends are often mad at her because of this. Her attitude has no logical meaning. She just said that that's the way she is because of this. It's hard for me to get closer or to hear my blocks if she cancels seeing me. Okay, so I'm never afraid of taking action. Sometimes I even text the same question or text the next day, but it'd be very helpful if I can get her into the attitude to always wanting to text message back as quickly as possible. And sometimes she just leaves the conversation. I would like longer conversations. So how we change this is we change our opinion of her. Okay, so she'll be what you think her to be. Okay, so start creating her as what you want her to be. If you want her to always text you back, then great, she always texts me back. Okay, so that's the big ticket here, is to change what you want of her. So write down all of your complaints about her. Okay, one by one, cross them out into positive intentions, and then add in there, what else do you want her to say about you, like to say to you, and how else do you want her to treat you? Okay, that's the major important part to this. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, because that's what we want to, to take a look at here and to change. I mean, you're projecting what she, what she actually shows up as. We all do, right? So so you said at one point she was someone that always texted back, and she said that. Now she says that she's not a person that doesn't text people back and people are mad at her. I mean, you've done both now. So, how about this? She can do whatever she wants with her friends, but she always texts me back. She always wants to be with me. She treats me better than anybody else. She always goes out of her way to make me feel special. Okay. So some intentions like that, like really focus, like um, you know, stop questioning what you think she's thinking. Okay, that's the biggest block with people, is questioning what the other person is thinking. You start assuming what they're thinking. If you want to get a label in a relationship, then you know what, just start right out basically saying, this is what we have. Okay, like this is what we actually have in our relationship right now. So yeah. So, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. These were all the questions off of the Patreon. Um, yeah. What else do we've got? Um, yeah. So, one more question. Somebody just added this. Oh, this was okay. Felicia's question. So, how to align? Okay. So, I mean, alignment is basically living from the end. Okay. So, living from the end is basically saying, okay, this is what I want. Okay. What would my thoughts be if I already had it? So I think I remember that yours was the question with being the guy 23 years younger than you. Like, oh, yeah, sign me up too. Like, what's up? Let's take a look here. Where is it? I think that's the one. Let me bear with me, guys, here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So basically, how you align, right? Alignment. Let's talk about that. Alignment is basically having all of your thoughts and feelings in line with what you actually want. And how you do that is you say to yourself, if I already had this, what would my thoughts and feelings be? Okay. So if you already, so for instance, okay, age. Okay. So age is a factor here, probably, right? Which is not uncommon. So, what would it be? It would be like, okay, so if you want him to absolutely love you and adore you and look at you like you're a goddess, then, having a thought like, oh, you know what, I'm too old for him, that's a block. That's not an alignment. How you would get an alignment is you would say, no, you know what? He absolutely adores me. He loves older women and he thinks I'm beautiful. He loves the way I make him feel. Therefore, he wants to be with me because I'm good enough. That statement would be in alignment. So that's how you get an alignment, is you basically monitor all your thoughts and all your feelings and you start to shift them into, this is what he thinks. This is what the situation is. Okay. So that's how we would get into alignment with that. Thank you for answering my question of what your question was. That's amazing. So guys, thank you so much for, being a part of this and joining us today. I hope that helps everybody. I know, an hour and a half. I love doing these though. They're great. We do them every week, guys. So of course, you know what? Check it out. The Patreon group. You can sign up on the Patreon group. You know, it's for everybody that's like, I have a question, you know, and I don't think I need full outright coaching. I have a question. I can do this. So that's what the Patreon group is for, you know, asking questions. To be honest, a lot of people that are part of the Patreon group are doing coaching with the coaches here as well. So it's a really good mixture of, you know, of having, you know, both. So, you know, to be successful, because, you know, it really helps to have that weekly encouragement. And again, you know what, guys, our promotion is still going on until April 30th, where 2020 that we're giving promotion on the video coaching. So you guys are all amazing, and thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I'm gonna go for a walk now. It's nice out here in Vancouver. So, and I intend that you guys are all safe. And you know what? I intend that all of our lives get back to normal, like really soon, and that there's okay.